Welcome to Uniblocks tutorial. This one is about version 3 of Uniblocks with all features included. After you installed Uniblocks in your project, you can find them here inside content folder. There will be Uniblocks folder. Let's have a look on maps subfolder. Here are plenty of objects, but only two of them, with one demo and documentation, are actually maps. The rest of them are level instances. Those can be maps, but in my case those are just prefabs, but are storing pre-made buildings. Let's have a quick look. Here's a building, and you can just drag and drop it to your map and have a building here. Quick and easy. And let's have a look on this one. This is build kit. And you can see here are Uniblocks, most of them. Those are just building pieces that stuck together seamlessly when grid snapping settings properly set up. Some of them are just static meshes, and some of them, the rest of them, are blueprints, railings, stairs, windows with few shapes, and so on. Okay, we have prefabs, build kit, and now let's have a look on demo map where all of those prefabs are exposed. Slowly loading in. Here we are. Let's have a live experience. Nothing loading, and it's done. All you can see here is made with Uniblocks, with exception of those orange signs. But they are also included as a separate meshes you can use if you want some. So, those are building prefabs that are available for demonstration purposes, as a reference how to build something, and so on. Some of them are rectangular, some of them, well, still rectangular, but with rounded corners, rounded bands, turns. So this is how Uniblocks can work. Some buildings can be quite big and even bigger if you have enough buttons. That's it. So let's move to the next chapter of this tutorial. Each time you want to build something with Uniblocks, there is a need to set up proper grid alignment. So let's do that. Make sure we are in world space. Snapping for movement set to 15. Rotation snapping we need 90 degrees, but let's select 30 and in 3 steps we reach 90 degrees, just for a responsive way to work. And set snapping for scaling to 0.5. Everything is ready and we can place a build kit here. To do that, let's go to Uniblocks folder, maps, and here it is, LI, build kit, and version number. Just drag and drop it. It's already snapped to the grid. And each block inside is also perfectly aligned to the grid right from the start. This is necessary to have. Okay, next we need to break it into separate pieces, because right now this is one big object and you can select parts inside it. To do that, right click, navigate to level, break, make sure keep folders checkbox on, so all those pieces will be sorted into one folder, and hit break. And it will be here. Just scroll a little bit, and like that. Okay, our blocks deployed. Now let's see what we've got here. At the front side there are static meshes sorted into different categories: block, joints of various shapes, rectangular, rounded, with larger diameter, rims with same curvature, and some special cases, rims and blocks. And some of those are also located here, just for convenience, or doorway rim should be near the door, and so on. There are a couple of static meshes here for the full edge. You can see that there is a white text for hint when static meshes are described, and it's white here. And at the back there are blueprints, and they have BP prefix in their text, and they have a green tint to clearly see what we're dealing with. Okay, what we can say about blocks? Well, you can see they have materials with fade out effect with distance, like that. This is intentional, so when we build something, apply many colorful blocks, and they can be very distracting to see clearly the shape of a building and see if there are any mistakes. So you can just step down, step back, and see it's in, well, clay color. Clear and precise. Next feature is some of blocks have scalable in their description, and some arrows to indicate direction. Direction where those can be scaled, like that. And thanks to snapping for scaling, each scale step will change size of this block on exactly 0.5 meters. So they will be aligned to the grid even after scaling. And this way we can scale one block to fit like for wall, roof, floor, and so on. Big walls, even those are just huge. This teeny block scaled to this huge size. Okay, you can see there are many of those blocks are scalable just in one direction. And this one have hidden arrows at the back side, so you can scale it in both directions, just like that. And the last thing to mention is that some blocks have, well, brackets in their text description with size difference, size variance. So this one have radius 50 and radius 100. And to switch between those, select this mesh, navigate to its static mesh property, and here is drop-down list, and you can select different size here. You can notice that there are more blocks have those brackets in their description, so this one also has something to change to, like this one with a radius of 2 meters, and smaller one like that. Same for this one, and same for this one. And this is it about static meshes. Now let's have a look on blueprints. Well, blueprints, for example, static meshes are like you can just drag and drop material on them, and it's there. But with blueprints, this won't work. Like they require a different approach. So to change material on them, you need to select blueprint, navigate to material slots section, and change those one by one here. Also, to change size of a blueprint, you should not scale it because it will be distorted. Instead, you should select it, navigate to its properties, find appropriate parameter, width, and change it to something different to have a proper gates here. Let's change it back. This is the same for many of our blueprints. For example, I don't know, railings can have different length, different type, and so on. And this is it. Next section is about building. To start using these blocks, so some kind of blockout can be made to define shape of a building, its size, and so on. Also, large elements like doors, windows, stairs, especially stairs, should be placed right from the start because they are spacey. They demand a lot of space. For example, if we have something like that for a ceiling, stairs will be quite huge to match it. Set them, yep, like that. Some space to start, some space to out from the stairs, and we need quite a lot of those. Let's move them here, make them wider. Oh, like that. And also our dude can be handy. So we can see how much space between his head and the ceiling, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's add stair walls. This one so long, and you can at the beginning phase can stack them like that. But this is, I usually do different because of some features I will mention a bit later. So there is a space, and this space is for joints. By placing joints of different shapes, for example rounded ones or rectangular ones, we can receive different feeling or different design of a building. So let's start with rectangular one. How to place it correctly? Well, orange color is hinting that orange stacks to orange. So we have gray sides here, those should be visible only for player. And orange should be invisible to the player. So it's like that. Those of course should be covered with different blocks later, but this one is like that. And orange is also hints that there is a sharp edge. So in the end there should be no orange visible to the player, no sharp edges. As you can see here, edge is smoothed. It's like that. It's quite dense in polygons, and those are rather sharp. So this is the purpose of the joints, to cover sharp orange sides with smooth one on the gray sides, and to provide, to set, to define, this is correct one, to define the design of a building in many ways. So let's apply this rounded joint, and our building will feel different, more futuristic, more modern. This one also can fit here. This one a bit easier because orange to orange, but this rounded side can be in place only in only one way. Okay, we have this one here, this one here. You of course can duplicate this one to be at the bottom, but with this we will have some kind of teeny issue. There will be a gap because this edge is rounded, so it won't stack seamlessly to the floor, to the ground. So usually for this type of rectangular building, it's better to just have a block with a rather sharp angle here. Okay, what's next? Well, usually it's about windows. Let's duplicate it here. Maybe we should have some here. But I think before going to Windows, we should cover those edges with our special block type is rim. Rims are like joints. We have smooth edges, but we have more of them, and we have one less orange side, so they can't connect two blocks together like joints do, but they are fit as a finish for open sides of blocks. So, orange to orange, it's like that. Only one correct position, so follow the orange color. And again, we need a special solution for this corner block, or more like it will be a bend block type, a rim bend. So it has orange sides only on one side, and those should fit only one way on the building. So again, orange to orange. Yep, like that. And if we want those here, there will be again this problem, because those edges are rounded, there will be a gap. And if you don't need that, there should be different way to solve this issue. We can reuse this joint at the bottom side. Whoops, a bit too much. I can rotate it, and it will be like that. So it will smoothly connect here, and bottom orange side will face the ground, and there will be no gap here. But there will be another issue to solve. Let's scale it first. I think it's too crowded here. Let's move all those blocks backside for a bit. This is more to my liking. Okay. We scale this. Maybe I should scale it like that. And we need to fill this space. Let's duplicate nearest joint, nearest rim, and try to fit it here. But there will be another problem, of course. Rims have rounded edges on their blue sides, and of course rounded edges is a feature, but it's slightly cursed one. So each time it stucks with razor-shaped orange sides, it will be a gap here. How to solve this? Well, a little bit of trickery. Let's move it up here, like that. And apply a joint here, but not this one, not scalable, but corner joint. So let's move it here, this one is like that. So orange to orange, but with some exception, because this one is not orange. Okay, we cover it. This one is sharp, no gaps. And the last one is here. Why this gap happens? Because, of course, there's rounded edges here on the external side of a joint. So this also should be solid. How? In this case, what we need? We need this blue block, blue rim, to be extra a couple millimeters down here, a bit larger, a bit longer. And we of course can manually scale it, but there is a special block, special cases blocks, you can find it here. Case 1A, extra 2 millimeters. And it has material rim, special case, a red, very distinct one. To solve the issues like that, so we can orient it properly, so orange to orange will be like that and like that. So those extra 2 millimeters are removing this gap. As you can see, there is a Z fighting happens, but my materials are triplanar, so when we apply those here on this one, there will be no Z fighting visible, because, well, triplanar makes them identical. So fighting will happen, but it will be identical versus identical, invisible in the end for a player. Okay, let's add wall here. Apply this joint. This is correct. Maybe like that. And apply this joint here. So it can be used on horizontal surfaces to connect wall with a ceiling, with a roof, or it can be used to connect corner blocks like that. And of course, it's better to do this proper way, so I left space for special corner joints. Those have 3 sides for outside and 3 orange sides to connect with those 3 here. And like that. And it's done. Orange to orange. This should fit nicely here. Of course, we should free some space for our stairs. Duplicate more. Place it like that. Make it probably maybe here, maybe here. And cover the rest of the space by scaling it. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Of course, you should build a building in one unified style, because there will be problems connecting around it with flat one. So let's do a quick cheat here for educational purposes. This one should be like that. And we have, of course, joints for rectangular corners and for rounded ones. This one and this one. This fits better for this case. This one completely rounded. So let's apply it at the bottom and at the top. And this one, well, we can of course just cheat and apply this material like that and like that. Maybe someday I develop some kind of weird transition block to have this covered better, but for now it can be like that if need happens. Okay, we have rims here. We solve it those tricky way. Let's duplicate those tricks to be here. And this one corner joint move here and rotate it so it can be like that. Or we can apply a proper joint here. I think this one will do the job. Like that. like that. So we have our smooth connections done. What's next? Next is this one. So we need some kind of bend here. And we have exactly that. Series of rim bend variations with different smoothing, straight, rounded all around, large radius. So this one seems to be fitting one. Yep. Let's orient it properly, and it's orange to orange. Should fit nicely. And thanks to grid alignment, everything connects perfectly smooth, without seams. Normals are also adjusted, so there will be no disconnections, even if blocks are, well, should not physically possible to do that. Okay. I mean, if we just have normals as they should be by default, we will have a seam here, but normals are tweaked to be perfectly smooth. Okay, we can move a bit aside and see how it goes. Not that bad. Let's add some more details. We have sliding door, and it needs a doorway rim with slots, and double one at that. So let's move it here. Those slots for door to move inside, to retract. And we need to cover this with something. We can just cheat and, well, use a rim block, stack it together, and cover this one. So door will go inside this block, but physics doesn't matter here, it's procedural animation, and it will work just like designed. Let's have a look. Without any troubles. But if you, well, perfectionist or for other reasons, you can do this correct way. Here is the case 3C block with the slot, scalable in both directions. So let's duplicate it, move it in place, and have correct, physically correct construction here. And scale it up, and this one is stuck here properly, and this rim will cover those orange sides, orange to orange, nicely. And this should be repeat on the opposite side. Just rotate this to be here. Right, stuck back. So this one finished. Let's add some windows, maybe from floor to that setting. We can set it wider, or if we want, so we can have just more panels. This is also nice. I like it. What else can we add here? We can add gate or gates. Gates are opening to opposite sides from center. Let's have a quick look. Set them to have 4 segments for each side, and maybe set them to medium size. Like that. My poor laptop slowly. Those are gates, double, like that. Let's move them back. But I think for this case it will be wise to have just a gate, because gates have 2 storage boxes, 4 segments to fit in, and gate have only one here. Duplicate those, place it like that, and arrange to have some space for car to fit in here. Maybe move it a bit here. Ideal case for gates is to have one block here, something like that. So when you set up there, let's have 7, maybe 9 segments. This movement sensor will fit in wall like that, and this block will be stuck to this one. But if you want maximum space, you can just move it to stuck inside wall. And when gate will open, there will be slightly awkward placement of insulation. You will see that. So it will be those two stripes here. I will fix that in next update, I guess. But for now, I think it will do the job nice. Enough. Okay. Let's get back here. Okay, we need some kind of wall here, of course. And we need to cover this wall with rims. Okay, rotate it to be like that. I guess we can stuck it here. Or maybe here. Oh, let's see some more examples of how to properly mount these gates. I think we can move those here. So as you can see, there is no orange, so there is no need for extra rim here. Wall will do nicely. And here rim cover orange side of this wall. Everything will be smooth to the player to interact. Okay, this one is done. This one is done. I think we should add, well, windows that can be opened. And some more window panels, like that. How to arrange those? I think this one should be, it should be at least not with handle to outside. Should be moved inside, I guess, like those two. And it should be, I think, for dude to reach to the handle with comfort. Yep, and yes, let's do this. Let's have an extra panel here. This one should be, oh, not that. Scaling blueprints is tempting, but please don't do that. This is not the correct way. Those are stacking. To fix that, those windows are small, they not half of a meter thick. So there's a special parameter to fit them to the half meter grid snapping. And this parameter is called flip. So we can flip around their pivot point and fit nicely to the grid. And same for this one. Window seems to be fitting nicely. And again, those are missing. Oh, this one is orange, so we need to rotate so no orange will be visible to the player. Done. Okay, we need to cover this one by like that. Or if it's not desirable, we can change height of window itself. Swinging one. You can't open it in game, I don't provide interface for that. So it's static blueprint, but you can change angle in editor. The window can be completely closed, opened on different angle. Handle of the rotation for handle can be changed, and position also can be adjusted for maximum comfort. Okay, we have windows here. Maybe we can add this rim here. and duplicate this wall piece to cover this, and this, like that. Yes. Now we can see how to add windows, for example, one here. So let's free some space for it. Seems good enough. Let's see, we need this one, which we can open. Orient it so handle will be inside the building. And align it. As you can see, there is a need for a space because those orange edges should be covered with rims, and it's a half of a meter from each side, so we need to remove this block, make those two taller, and this one like that. So we have a window hole and a window, only rims are missing. For those kind of openings inside walls, there is a rim corner in it, and rim scalable those will do the job here. Move those into position. This can be done like that. And this is it. Smooth edges, all orange sides are covered, and window is fitting very nice here. Okay, let's add more to this. For example, we want window here, but a narrow design. For example, this one. If we want to reuse those rims for corners, there is a bit of the fighting will happen, so it's better to use special case blocks, or rims in this case. This one, case 2A, is narrow window hole. Duplicate it. And like that. It's here. It's red to indicate that is special case, but overall it's the same smooth edges outside and orange sides to orange to connect. Moving it here, and to fill those gaps we need to use those blocks again, just like that. Perfectly smoothly. Okay, but if we want more advanced window panel with pill shape, rounded one, we can do that. So it should be here. Let's sacrifice those two. And this one too. So we have our window, and we should flip it so it will be inside the wall, and we can adjust its size for a bit, and maybe make it taller. So this block is not necessary. And this one can be removed. Oh, it's like that. And our window can fit here good enough. Maybe change curvature radius or bend radius here. think 1 meter should go. Okay, we can of course scale this down, place those around like they should be. And this one here, done. Okay, but how to fill those gaps? To do that, we have special rim quarter of different curvature sizes. Oh, those are like that. So this the only thing to remember that is those quarter rims are intended to be used on top of those corner rims. You of course can put those directly on the orange sides of the opening, and they mostly will do fine. Just remember to cover those teeny imperfections with proper material to match those, so orange will not be visible to the player. Let's move all those bugs, and if we have different curvature, different bend radius, we of course can change our quarter to match it to be larger or to be smaller. Okay, this one goes here, and those go here. Okay, what else can we do here? For example, if we want some kind of openable feature, there is unfortunately no way to have peel window to be opened directly, but we can have a workaround. Switch to D shape to, let's reduce width, and place in the middle just normal window like this one. Oh, this is a current solution, like that. And there is another feature to mention. For example, D-shaped windows can't be smaller than certain size, so there is always half of a meter of beam here and here, but there is no space for that, and we should have half of a circle here. So we can do that, switch back to pill-shaped, and it's like that. It can be circle, it can be half of a circle, and it can be quarter, whatever shape current radius is allowing. So it can be small, can be large, like that. So we have our half of a circle here. We can put it here, flip to match, and we can have this window a bit wider. Window width. Or maybe we can have a couple of windows instead of just one. A bit like that. Okay, this is done. What do we have here? Flowerbed blueprint. Let's have a look on it. By default, it's centered, so it's off the grid. But if you want it like that, just disable this checkbox. We can adjust its size. Let's move it here. And in this direction, it also scales. Grass is a bit primitive, but usually it can do the job. But you can set height it low enough, it disappears. And what else we can do? This design is rounded, and we can switch mode for this Flowerbed to be also rounded, like that. We can adjust thickness of those walls to be something like that. We can make it taller, or make it like that, or even that. Quite adjustable blueprint. Let's add this to this place. Let's have it here. Something like that for symmetry. I think this will do the job. Okay, we can have it here, maybe like that, or we can reduce it height. But remember to disable bottom from elevated to monolith, so it will look correct this way, or fused, if you wish so. And maybe this one should be like that, rectangular, and maybe grass should be trimmed. This looks nice. Okay, what's next? Window peel was by mistake moved here, so or not, it will be here. We have a bush and we have tree. Both marked as having variance, thanks to those brackets to indicate that. So let's use those variants. For example, if we want bush to be wider, we can have it. Just select it, go to its static mesh properties, and in this drop-down list, we can have wider versions that are a bit easier to manage, like that. Note that those are very high poly, nanite, but still this is quite expensive to have on your map. So if you need maximum speed, better to avoid those. Use something else, something faster, from more specialized package, not mine. Those trees comes in 3 variants, 4 variants, same size, just randomized leaves and branches placement. And we can switch those trees to be large ones. So through this drop-down list we can access to those weird trees with weird leaves. Sometimes those are useful. Well, let's switch it back to more compact size. Next, those are well covered. Window beam, let's have a look on it. It's for Windows, of course. It's intersecting, so we can use flip or shift. Shift will do the job here. Oh, those beams usually handy when we have windows, something like that, 2-story or more. But just for example, let's use those for this case. We can adjust amount of copies, instances, maybe add more modulus, change type to bracket. So we have bolted to the down to the floor. Maybe add those to the top. Oh, those are already there somehow. Let's repeat it again. rotate those, move it up, and flip them to be on the outside. There are more types of beams to pick from. For example, L junction if you want some kind of corner, intersections, those providing smooth edges, so they are slightly better than just to have a couple of beams intersecting directly. But this way is cheap, but also viable, so you can use it if need be. Okay, now let's have a look on beam decorative. Those are handy if you need to add some kind of touch to a building design. Somehow they got off grid, even if they are grid aligned. To fix what is quickest way is just to hold Ctrl and press End key, and those will be perfectly aligned to the grid. Let's flip them. Those are a bit different from those window beams. Decorative beams are adjusted. First you set width they should fill, and then amount of those beams inside this width. So this way their purpose is different and they're handy to perform in their niche case. Okay, what's next? Pillars. Let's have those, for example, I don't know, inside building. Something like that. Maybe not right in front of the door, but someplace. Yeah. Of course, those are by design, by default, have smooth transition from surfaces they attach to. For example, if we apply grid material, you can notice that there is no gaps, no seams, perfectly smooth transition, and same for bottom size. You can adjust those base and top separately. For example, we can have base elevated and top will be same. We can base fused to the floor. In some cases, if material is the same here and here, this can work very well. Same for the top side. We can change design to be rounded, so it will be smooth corners here, circular, and so on. Triangular. We can have it tilted. In some cases this is handy. And it still performs quite well. And of course beams are usually used in bunch, and so we can have more of those. Adjust distance like that. Okay, what else can we do? Seems this is it. I think only one blueprint. Yep, only one left is light ceiling. It's just a lamp. It can be used on ceiling, or if we disable this hanging checkbox, we can use it, well, still use it on ceiling, but also we can apply those on the walls. Let's do this like that. Wow, this is interesting. How did I manage that? This is a blueprint. It should move with all parts together. I thought so. We can change design to be pill-shaped. Yes, it can be pill, just in its smallest size it's a round, it's circle. Can be shifted. And it can be honeycomb. something like that, and of course it can be returned to its default state, so it hung from the ceiling. And we can enable it, adjust color to be something more vivid, like that. Okay, most features are covered. Now it's time to apply materials. Those are better to apply from control browser or content browser, to be precise. You can add those by adding checkbox here, and we have extra window opening here. Something like that. Of course, we can try to apply materials directly from content drawer, like that, but every time we need to open it and maybe froze it. Nope, this is not working. Or document layout. This is not the good case. Better to have content browser here and apply materials directly. Like that. Let's have something for walls. For example, it can be a brickwork. This is a bit faster way to work. Maybe like that, but for this type of building, I think we need something else. There are plenty of plasters. For example, this is classic white. Maybe something else can do the job, but I think this one is good enough. So apply it here. Applying materials is a slow process. So each side of each block has a dedicated material slot, because this one can be handy in some cases, and this way, one by one, drag and drop, things being done with some patterns, like that. The only bad thing about this process is that if you want different material, it's slower from the start. It's better to define good one from the initial stage and apply rest after things are looking good enough and won't be changed in near future. Oh, come on, it seems that there's some kind of offset when I'm using OBS Studio on the second monitor, and this becomes postal. But it works with some kicking and screaming. Oh, let's finish our job here. And thanks to triplanar UV projections, those materials on different blocks are connected seamlessly. Let's move it a bit to this side and cover this properly. Oh, come on. Let's do this again. Okay. This is like that. So everything perfectly smooth, no seams, no transitions. This is how it should be working. Well, I can cover the roof here. Those huge blocks are fast. Come on. Yep. And something else left to paint with those materials. Maybe this here, this one. Yeah. And we have material to apply here, but it will spill inside building because this mesh is one huge piece. So let's move it here, duplicate, scale it down, and we can have our plaster right here. Maybe we should have different material for these gates. Oops. That. And we can remove this later. Nice and quite clean. If I apply material here, I should apply it here, guys. Yes. This is it. Maybe for this one we pick different later. Okay, what's left here are those decorative beams. I think those materials, those beams have a proper material. So we can select it and apply this way quicker and repeat for this one. Looks not that good. Let's change it to have something more glossy, maybe metal noisy, I remember. Or something like that. I think this will do the job. Okay, so we have a couple of blueprints here. And we can apply some kind of concrete. A bit too bleak. A bit too heavy. I think this one good enough. Okay, let's select those again and apply same material to those borders. Oh, those will be united and nice. Okay, but still something could be better. Let's try some more options. Maybe something like grainy. A bit too dark. Let's keep this painted one. Okay, we have a material to apply here. What should it be? Let's reuse this one. And apply it here. And again, it's spilled inside. So let's make it into two different blocks. Like that. And now we can apply this material. Yes, and have nicely done entrance. Maybe too bright, but anyway, material library is incomplete currently. Let's apply this material here for unified version. Okay, maybe we can pick some kind. Maybe this is too bold. Or something more calm. Okay. Entrance almost done. There is a need to apply something here. for inside the doorway. Let's go vivid, something red. Some kind, maybe not so radical. This is more to my liking. Okay, let's go inside. First problem we encounter here is that this one block has material from the street inside building. How to fix that? To do that, there is a special separator blueprint. You can locate it inside the front of each door blueprint. So this one is double. We can grab it here, grab it here. Let's do this one. And we can apply it on right here, make it wider, and flip it so it can be inside. And this way we can apply material, same material we have on this part of the house, on this separator blueprint, and have no problems outside. So let's do that. Some kind of wood will do, and with this material selected we can go to this blueprint and apply it here. And like that, no problems. Okay, something step, oh, not this slot. I think rotation should be different. Oh, nice and clean. Okay, what we should have here? For those kind of surfaces, I have wallpapers. Some of them quite nice, but sometimes they didn't fit because it's a room design maybe requires something different. So we need to scroll from them to find good ones, or we can switch to materials without any patterns. There are 3 series of those. Perfect, with very bold colors. Sometimes those can do the job. This energetic orange is very nice. We have pastel, same but just less saturated. And we have soft, just very soft, very calm colors. They also can fit nicely here and there. And this way we apply it here, 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 one by one, until job is done. Let's have a perfect white here, here, on the ceiling, like that. Maybe apply it to the stairs. So we have nice stairs. And this is like that. Not so much to say about. Just material by material, we do the job until it looks gorgeous or just nice. And this is it. Have fun building and texturing all kinds of construction with Uniblocks.